Or he looked at me funny. He looked at it, don't look at him and you won't see him look at you funny. Yeah, that it doesn't make sense. He looked at me funny. So they go stab him, then they fight for days. This is the reality that we face. But there are other realities like alcohol and the way that people used to behave, the attitude towards God, the attitude towards their life today. They didn't view as resurrection as one of the points. So they lived their life the way they wanted. We have the same problem today. But not only do we have this problem, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us on top of that, that one of the worst enemies to us, to you, to me, is ourselves. Is us. Our own hands, our own feet, our own ears, our own eyes, our own mouth, our own mind is our worst enemy. It could either lead us to destruction, lead us to Jahannam, lead us to depression and agony and pain, or it could lead us to glory. It could lead us to the light. But on top of that, not only do we have to fight our nafs, give it a good beating once in a while, on top of that we have society. A society that pushes forward this idea of, you live life only once, which we agree with as well. Muslims agree with. People that believe in God, people that don't believe in God, we all know that we're only here once. In this world once, that's it. We're not coming back. But the way society views it, and the way the Arabs viewed it, was if we're here only once, then we're going to enjoy ourselves. And that's an idea pushed. Go out, satisfy your desires as much as you want. Go out. Do whatever you need to be done. Satisfy your desires now, because you're not going to get the chance afterwards. You're not going to get this chance again. We look at the lives, we look at what do they mean by maximize your life. They mean, go out, satisfy yourself with as many women as one. If you get bored of women, do it with men. If you get bored of men, do it with animals. Doesn't matter, they don't care. Satisfy yourself. It's alright. Others, we see pubs in every street. Not one, not two, maybe 3, 4 pubs in every street. We've got one pub at the end of this road, we've got another pub just over there, one pub across the road. There's a pub, you could just point the pub. They've got more pubs than churches in this country. That just shows you the reality. Other things, drugs. Amsterdam, you have cafes where you go and you can, smoke to your heart's desire. No one stops you, no one cares. You could, and they have all these different names and colors as well. I don't know the names and colors. I've never seen it. Yeah. So, but they have all these things. They have places where you can go and satisfy your desires. They've made these places for you. They have Ibiza where you could just go out 24/7, just club it out, just go out, just rave it out. Night and day, they don't care. The sun is out, the moon, they don't care. They still go out, just do it. Then they have whole areas like Leicester Square just made for clubbing. Then they push you to, these ideas of wanting things, wanting, the best cameras, the best phones, the best, the best cars, the best sort of jackets, the clothes, the house. These things, go out, look at this new phone. They bring out an iPhone 4, iPhone 1, iPhone 2, iPhone 3, iPhone 3 part 1, part 2, part 3, iPhone 4. They're still bringing out iPhones. They're going to bring out iPhones for the rest of our lives. But there's people who buy every single one of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, doesn't matter. People buy these. But then they give you the watches and the designer glass. Why do you have designer glasses? Why the hell do you need the gay man's name on your glass? I don't understand. They still have this stuff. But not only that, that isn't the only way to maximize your life. That is not the only way to maximize, to satisfy your needs. That's not these are things that we do to enjoy it. But there's other ways as well, which we might not fall for these ones, the clubbing, the drugs, the wanting of material objects, but there's other things. How about wasting time? Isn't that satisfying your desire? Let's look at ourselves. Look at myself first. And this is a nasir for all the brothers here. Weigh up on one side the amount of Quran you read in 1 week, we're going to add them together. The amount of Quran you learn in 1 week. The amount of Islamic knowledge you learn in 1 week. To the amount of time you pray in 1 week. To the amount, on the other side, the amount of times you watch TV. Wasting time. This is what I mean by wasting time. Where you, on one side, you do things that satisfy your desires to your heart's content, but while things on the other side, like praying salah, learning about Islam, is looked at secondary. Not just that, I know some people who go to gym 10 times a week. You might think that's impossible, that's not. That's once in the morning, once in the afternoon, 10 times a week. 10 times a week. I'm pretty sure, I know that, probably pray less than that. 10 times a week. What do you do in the gym 10 times a week? How hench do you want to be? The other way we waste time is when we jam with our boys. Just jamming, just doing nothing. Not doing anything haram. I'm not saying we're doing out, going talking about girls. Just jamming. Smoking shisha. Weigh up how many hours you spend jamming compared to how many hours you look at Islam. I'm not talking about just learning, just listening to Quran, going to a talk. Weigh up. And the other one we look at is reading. People might say, "Wow, reading? What do you mean reading? How can you say reading is wrong?" But I don't mean just reading. I mean, what kind of knowledge are you reading? What kind of knowledge are you taking? Okay, this is not for everyone, and this is this is a minority of people. I understand. Yeah, reading isn't the best thing, the most fun thing we have. But there's some people who read, which is a good thing. But what are they learning? They read this Harry Potter and the Lord of the Rings. Just go watch the movie. Why are you going to read? It's there. All of them are there. No, that's just, you should read the books, yeah, don't watch the movie. Anyway, but the thing is, the knowledge that you attain, what kind of knowledge are you attaining compared to the knowledge that is out there? The useful knowledge. There are so many Islamic books out there, translate to English. So many, vast amount of knowledge. Are we spending our time trying to read these books compared to the books like Harry Potter? Other things such as satisfy desires are like excessive spending. Excessive spending. Spending is not haram. Spending is okay. What happens when we excessively spend? We spend to a point where we have so many clothes that it doesn't fit in our wardrobe. We have to leave it in our mum's wardrobe. Leave them in the packages. I've seen houses, I've seen people who have clothes that they haven't even taken out. Why don't you resell it? No, I'm going to wear it one day. When it doesn't fit you anymore. Other issues, simple, this is not haram. These are not haram issues. These are issues which are not haram. You're allowed to do these things. But yet, what am I talking about? Why are we looking at this? The other issue is family. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about if your families, if your wife, if your children, if your mothers, if your fathers are more important to you than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then wait. That's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He doesn't tell you to throw you into hellfire, He just says wait. We look at these issues and we need to realize how to weigh these up. How do we realize this? How do we realize which is more important? We look at who gives us the answer. Who gives us the answer? Society pushes one idea. We have our own idea. But who knows the answer? Who better than the one who installed these ideas, these thoughts, these emotions in us? Who better than the one who created these emotions and then put them in us? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one that gives us the answer. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one that tells us how to live our life. And this is the story, this is the lesson that we learn from these sahabas and the sahaba that we talk today, as-sahmi. That as-sahmi